What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. I appreciate you stopping by, spending a few minutes of your time here with me today. I want to go over with you the trade I took on Monday on the NAS. All right. I'm also going to cover a trade that I actually just took, um, and a little bit outside the parameters, right? I traded uh, kind of the gap time between Asia and London on the US dollar Swiss franc currency pair. But I wanted to show you the trade anyway, right? So here we're looking at an hourly chart on the NAS just so we can see the overall structure of the market, right? You can see we've been very bullish. And then when we get to this Thursday, right, we have sort of like a first red day close, but I classify this as, it's an outside day. But to me, it signifies that false break at the high of the week, okay, which starts our day count. That's my day one. We have an inside day close here on Friday as a potential signal day, right? And this is just looking at this closer up. Now, this is the process on the day on Monday, right? Because on Monday, we want to look back at Friday and Thursday and see, do we have a potential 3-day setup? And you can see without me really having to point it out, right? But like these lows and this high, this is our box, right? And price is coiling sideways, okay? This is just one big sideways coil these 3 days. And that's often the type of price movement that I'm looking for, right? It's very easy to read. We have a very well-defined box that price is working inside of, all right? So we had that inside day there on Friday, and we've been talking about these inside day types of trades recently, so I thought this was a great fit, right? So we look at those past 2 days, and then we also mark off Friday's high and Friday's low. And that's our kind of smaller box inside of our bigger box, right? This is what you need on your chart. Every single day, this is the sort of process you'll be following. It's very simple, all right? So we have the levels marked off. We train our eyes to move horizontally at the levels. All that means is, we have this level marked off and we want to wait until price gets back to that level, right? At our in our timing window, okay? So we want price at that level at a specific time. And then we need to pay attention to the behavior of price. What I'm looking for is a reversal signal, okay? Or a price pattern that indicates a potential reversal is taking place, which we get. I talk to you guys all the time. M's at the high of the day, W at the low of the day on a 1-minute chart. On a 5-minute chart, that may be an engulfment, okay? And on a 15-minute chart, that may be a pin hammer type of entry, all right? That's all the same pattern, just on different time frames. And to me, that's kind of important to know, right? So we got that M formation at the high of the day. And I'm always telling you guys this, I'm not trying to guess. I'm trying to eliminate the guesswork. So I'm not going to get into this trade all the way up here at Friday's high, right? People like to post screenshots of them catching the high, like to the pip, okay? That's unrealistic for me. And I've learned it's better to be safe than sorry when it comes to trading these markets. So I like to take a more conservative, safe entry, all right? And I do that by waiting for this middle structure of the M, okay, so these lows here to be broken, right? And when those levels are broken, I enter the market, okay? My stop loss, I could have put it at the high of the day, but I was being, more conservative and just used the 1-minute bar that I entered on, right, as my stop loss, okay? Now, I closed 75% of this position at 50 pips, okay? I sized into this trade because I'm comfortable doing so, all right? I have some experience with this system. I've had good luck with it, you know what I mean? I've had great results trading this system, so I sized into this trade. It's something that I'm familiar with, right? The false break of the inside day, false break at the high of the week or the low of the week type of setup. This is sort of my bread and butter. So I sized into this trade, closed 75% at 50 pips, and I left 25% to run. And I closed it. I'm telling y'all, I get so damn lucky with these closes, okay? Because I just let this thing run. I walked away and came back later, and it was all the way down here, and I could see sort of this W formation possibly being formed, and I just went ahead and got out of that trade. Like, why do I need to be greedy? Why wait any longer? Just shut it down. I'm not waiting around to see. I got stuff to do, you know what I'm saying? So I shut that down almost perfectly, right? I mean, that's insane. But and I'm only comfortable holding those trades like that after I've already locked in the money, all right? And I don't have it on these slides, but once this market breaks this level, like once I close that for those 50 pips, my stop losses are definitely at break even, okay? So I'm comfortable with just leaving that little 25% because even if it comes back, it's not going to, I'm not going to lose money. So I can let that trade run. Okay, so that's the NASDAQ trade that I took. And now I want to show you this other trade, okay? So here you can see we have 3 days of breakout traders in the market in the long direction, all right? And I've marked that off using Friday and Monday because I'm trading technically the Tokyo session or that gap time, on Tuesday. So I'm using Monday and Friday. But if we zoomed out further on this chart, we could see that we had Thursday, Friday, Monday. So this could have been potentially the day 3 of breakout traders for the trade the next day, okay? And it's the same simple process. We look back at those 2 days, right? And then we mark off the daily low from the previous day right here, and then the high of the day. And we want to train our eyes to move horizontally at the levels, meaning, again, we're just waiting for price to get to that level during a certain time and then giving us a certain behavior, right? A pattern, a chart pattern, a price pattern that indicates a potential reversal is taking place, all right? So here was this trade that I took. This, even though, we have this potential 3-day setup, I already made good profits yesterday off of the NAS trade. I'm not trying to be greedy in the market, so I'm not sizing into this. Plus, I'm trading in the gap time. I know I'm breaking that foundational rule of Stacy Burke's trading system, all right? But I blame the Discord channel, bro. Somebody inspired me to trade the gap time. Unfortunately, that happens sometimes. You get influenced by people. But anyway, I did it and it worked out well. But I did not size into this trade. I was trading, like $1 a pip or something like that. So no big deal there. Now, you can see here, this market breaks out of Monday's high of the day in the Tokyo session, gives us this sort of 3 push pattern up here, this kind of micro head and shoulders. We're potentially locking in the high of the day. We're definitely locking in the high of the session with this. And we have this higher time frame M formation here. All right. And so I felt safe entering this trade at $1 a pip when we broke this middle structure here of this larger time frame M pattern at the high of the current day, right? After we broke a daily level. That's the only reason why I was comfortable to take this trade without sizing in, because it met the criteria I needed it to meet. But unfortunately, it was just a tad outside of the trading window. But I happened to be looking at my charts and marking off my charts. So I entered there. This is a 5-minute chart, so you can't see exactly the levels where my stop loss was, right? But it's just at these highs. If you were on a 1-minute chart, you'd be able to see it a lot more clearly. The structural highs there, the stop loss would be, I was targeting closing price, right? Because you can see where we started building up this house. Okay, this is like that anchor point. So I'm targeting closing price. We know that closing price can often act like a magnet, right? And price is attracted to that level. So I'm targeting that level since we hit the high of the day level and we're heading down. The next logical target is closing price. So I exited at closing price. I believe it was like 20 pips. You know what I mean? So a little $20 off the trade. But hey, money is money, right? Anyway, those are the trades. I hope it makes sense, bro. Make your trading as simple as you possibly can. All right. The things that confuse you, ask questions. You know what I mean? You'll be surprised. A lot of the time, Stacy responds to comments. You know what I mean? Especially asking questions. I will respond to every comment on these videos. If you're in the Discord channel, we can get together. But simplify your trading, and the things that confuse you, just set them off to the side. Worry about the things that you do know right now. Okay. And the easiest way to do this is by marking off the previous day's high and low, waiting for price to get to those levels and seeing how it behaves if it happens in your timing window, okay? Same thing with the weekly levels. If you want to mark off last week's high and low and then wait for price to return to that level and see how it behaves, right? It might take 2 days up there or something, or you could even do this with monthly levels. Mark off last month's high and low and wait for price to return to that level. And you might get some monstrosity types of trades, you know what I'm saying? But anyway, man, until next time, I hope you continue to free your mind.